Make the strings louder.
Back at the shop, and guess what we're working on today? Ty, what are we working on today? GSX. And I'm working on growing my beard back too, because I just got a request. I didn't actually read the full comment, but it popped up on my phone, and it said, bring back the beard. So all I gotta say is I'm trying. It's growing out. I haven't touched it since I shaved it off, so you guys can't get too mad at me. But the GSX is in the shop. I don't know what to do to it, other than it doesn't run. I think I introduced this car to you guys, and we didn't really go that far with it. We really didn't do anything because it needed a wideband, and I was gonna order a wideband, and I did, and then I ended up putting it in the sleeper Civic, which isn't actually in the shop right now, so I can't steal that back off. I mean, I guess I could go get it, but yeah. So gonna try to figure out why this thing doesn't start or run or do any of that type of stuff. The battery has been charging in here for like probably an hour, and basically just pushed it in, and I took off. This thing was sitting outside, so I had it sitting with a little towel kind of covering right here. But man, this turbo is just insane. This is one of those eBay like GT42 turbos, and how many pounds of boost do you think it's gonna make?
I think you'd be lucky to make like 14.
14? I mean, it's gonna make a lot of boost once it actually gets into the boost, but I don't know. I don't even know what the AR is on this exhaust side. It's probably it's a 1.15 maybe. I don't know what it is. It's huge. This is a big giant turbo. It's got a tiny little exhaust on it though. It's only got a 3-inch compared to all that stuff. So this car does have a water to air intercooler, but
it's a 105.
Oh, there we go.
I mean, it looks bigger than that.
So, but it's got like a giant wheel in there though. Like a bit, like I bet that thing looks like the one of them turbos strapped to the side of the jet. Like that's what it kind of looks like. But so this thing, water to air intercooler, there's no water lines plumbed to it. The radiator's been cut in half, and the hood actually hits the top of the turbo right there. So it was kind of funny. I ended up getting rid of a big project that was sitting on the side of the shop for a while, and one of the guys that came down with him actually was an owner of this car, and he said he just recently built the bottom end. I think he said it had Manley rods and Wiseco pistons. It has a really good port job on the head because he does porting himself. Did he say it had valve springs in it?
I didn't talk to him.
So
but
stock.
I think he said he was like stock heads.
Stock cams.
Like stock ported heads.
Stock ported head is kind of what it is. So it probably needs some head work eventually if we decide we're going to start making some real power with it. But one of the other things that you guys mentioned is we had a really, really good comment. Because I'm kind of new to this whole DSM thing. I've never really had a DSM or made any power with one or attempted to do that. I had the Evo build that I kind of built and put back together, but that was pretty simple. You know, I didn't really try to go crazy with it, and it was an Evo 9. So I just downloaded the ECM link and just kind of changed some stuff with that to get it to run on E85. So what we talked about in the last video of getting the Supra back is this ECU Master plug and play, which is for an Evo 4 to Evo 8. And from my understanding, my quick Google research is I was assuming that it was going to work. I'm not sure if it's actually going to plug in and play. I think the connectors might be the same. I haven't tried plugging them in yet. But based upon the comment, they said I should get a 2G engine harness or like an Evo 8 engine harness and then do the Evo 8 style cam sensor or crank sensor, then use this whole plug and play thing, and that would kind of get us on the right track. So We're going to try to get it running tonight on the ECM link, which is basically cable that plugs into the factory diagnostic port and flashes the stock ECU. And people do get fairly far with that, but we need to try to start this thing tonight and get it running, because that was kind of one of the issues with the car in the first place, is that it would just not start sometimes and other times it would. So I got it to start, and it was starting and it was perfect, and then we pushed it out, and then I went to start it the next day, and then it didn't start. So we need to get it to start.
40 psi of oil pressure. Oh, that looks janky.
Yeah, it is janky. Go ahead and try it.
Fired.
The other thing is we don't have a wideband, because I was planning on using the ECU Master built-in wideband.
We don't need one.
Or plug it back in, we'll see.
Clear it out or something, get to fire and clear out. Woo! Holy shit! That seems like some detonation.
It seems like some timing.
Well, the ignition.
The ignition timing is all.
So it might be the coil pack. It really might be. I mean, that wire.
Or do you think they're freaking Chinese coil packs?
Yeah, they're dildoing.
Oh man, I think I got these ones from Tommy F. Yeah too. Dang it! What's up with
Damn,
this guy?
Tommy, dildo and
Yeah.
dildo and all kinds of engines now. Alright, so we went ahead and unplugged a coil pack. Jarek said that there's some kind of wiring issue, so kind of like a grounding issue or something like that. So we're gonna unplug one and see what it does. Go ahead and give it a go, Trev. Alright, let's plug it back in and see if it does the same thing. Alright, let's try a different one. Do you want to think this one will snap too?
Maybe.
Just snap
They
all
all
of it.
look so brittle. It's probably just because this thing sat for so long.
Jack, you want to come hold this real quick? Or I'm do the thing, one of the two.
Oh, you break it.
Okay. It's a push, right? Not a pull-up one?
I think it's a push. I don't know.
I'm just scared of breaking it. There it goes. Okay. Try this one now, Trevor. Backfiring. Oh yeah.
It's just cam.
It's just really, really big cam.
It's really big cam.
Alright, I'm gonna try the first one. See.
Watch the
Try the
timing.
first one too.
Pull that away from the timing bolt. The wiring.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
There you go.
Thanks, Jared. Maybe it's not timed. Yeah, don't dildo it, bud. It's all the. Maybe it's not timed. Maybe we need to pull the belt and retime it.
The timing. I could have swore last time I was here we were looking at the timing. Oh, no. The upper timing mark.
Alright, so we decided to go ahead and pull the coil packs out, actually rest a different set of spark plugs on the coil cover and see which ones are sparking. So go ahead and crank it. Actually, they're all doing it now. They're all cranking. I wonder if they're all doing it at the same time. I don't know. Let me check. We started looking at the wiring a little bit more, and it looked like all the coils were firing at the same exact time, which would lead us to kind of a wiring issue. So you can see, actually, look at that. Look how thin that wire is right there. So this was busted off, and this connector, where these wires were just like that, was right here. So obviously there's an issue with that, and so I think we just need to clean up that wiring a little bit, and then it should probably work. I mean, it ran before, and then we wiggled some stuff and moved some stuff, and then it doesn't. So now we just gotta fix it. But see if it starts.
All right, so Trevor went ahead and just taped the those two wires that were touching, maybe grounding out. So let's give her a go. Darn.
You think that wire broke?
Unplugged the one that had the wires tearing, and see what it does.
That's definitely something's off in the ignition still.
Yeah, so.
I don't know. Maybe more. So that's the ground. So that has to be the ground, or the, because they should fire together.
I don't think it is. I think it's 1 and 4 the way it's wired on the diagram.
Yeah, no, that's how it should be. It should be 1 and 4 and 2 and 3.
Yeah.
Because that's how those two are going to punch up together, and the outside two are going to punch up together.
Makes sense.
So I mean, they kind of seem wired, right? But that they're like,
those two are grounded.
All right, so we went ahead and adjusted the. What is this? The cam angle sensor, Trev?
Angle sensor.
Yeah, kind of like a distributor on a Honda. Clocked it a little bit to see if it'll help start. Let's give it a try. Oh, fired right up. Fired on the piston. Yeah, it's definitely got a miss. Just gotta find it.
I just don't like that coil pack setup. Like the wiring on it just sucks.
No,
We can either redo the wiring or just go back to just like a regular spark plug wire.
Coil pack.
Just back to a coil pack with wires. Yeah.
So I'm going to mess with the wiring on here again. It just seems like it's misfiring quite a bit, and it's just not having a good time. And you could just see all this stuff is like what used to be heat shrinked, and then used to be taped, and then it wasn't, and then it is. And so I don't know. I think I'm just going to try to rewire some of the stuff. But before I do that, I'm going to use my bench. But I can't use the bench because it's full of tools right now. Astro Tools, if you guys are familiar. They sent the Boosted Boys quite a few tools a while back. Right after the MR2 build, they kind of reached out to me and asked me if there's anything that I needed. I said, you know, I'm interested in auto body stuff, and they have a lot of that stuff. So they went ahead and sent me out a lot of this stuff. Little finishing palm sander, a 3-inch DA sander, color match light, some of these slim rechargeable lights, which these things are absolutely amazing because you could actually just stick them on things. So I've been really liking them. I think they know that I like primer because they sent me a primer gun. I think they know that I like body filler because they sent me 4 packs of 100 body filler spreaders, which is really cool. Rechargeable handheld lights, and these are rechargeable too, as well as this little air belt sander, which these things work really well for spot welds, a denibbing sander, these little panel trim things, and then some engine, or not some engine stands, some panel stands and stuff like that. So I'll be using that stuff in the future, but I did just want to say, you know, thank you Astro Tools for sending some of that stuff out. And I mean, these lights are just amazing. I don't know, and they're like adjustable too. And yeah, I just figured before I didn't mention anything to them. before I didn't mention anything about that and like clean off all the stuff and pull all the tools away, I'd go ahead and say that. But if you guys are interested in some of the stuff, the stuff that I've liked, and especially these lights, I'll put the links in the description. Buy those things because I'm a big fan of the lights, especially that they're rechargeable, so you don't have to be sticking batteries in them all the time. Oh, and they sent me a pile of belts for this little air file sander, which again, spot welds. These things save your life. Here's a nice example of what we're dealing with here. So you can see that one. Literally, it's got 2 strands of wire connecting it, and this is where it was probably kind of rubbing through and doing some weird stuff before. So I'm just going to try to repair this wire a little bit, kind of take that off, and kind of resolder them together, or maybe give it a little bit extra length right there and actually get it down, and maybe redo it right here too, because it doesn't look like that probably just isn't that good. So try to fix that up a little bit as best as I can for now, just to see if we could get the car running actually decent. I actually did find there's a guy on eBay that sells the whole wiring harness for it, or I think I don't know if we mentioned it previously, but actually going back to like the factory coil pack setup with like 4 coil outputs and then actually the spark plug wires. So that's what do you think?
Get the rest of these?
What do you think of that?
You get the rest of these on there?
I'm gonna. Alright, so we got some halfway fixed wires right there. So we're gonna see if it starts, if it runs better.
Sounds like a fully firing 4G to me. Now it sounds bad, yeah. What happened, bud? That's how it was. Put it in the middle. Put it in the middle. All right, Trev, so what are we doing out here in the graveyard?
Well, we're trying to find a coil pack thing. We found one in this car, which I don't think... The plug is obviously different, and I think this is the 420A. But we're looking for basically this, which is like the factory style coil with spark plug wires instead of a coil and plug like aftermarket thing. I just want to be able to kind of eliminate some of the issues by just bolting on something that's OEM and then actually maybe ordering like a nice kit for that, like an actual coil and plug kit. But so we're just searching. I don't know, these things are pretty old, so there's not a whole lot of parts laying around for them, it seems like.
Especially the turbo models, it seems.
Go ahead. Alright, so we found some clips right here. There's off just a core engine in the deal, so should be able to use these clips to at least kind of fix some of our wiring issues, hopefully. Good thing I got the old bench made out here. Alright, so we didn't have much luck at the junkyard. The only thing we were able to do was get these little clips, which these were off of a Toyota Camry engine that was kind of in the scrap pile. So I got some of those extra ones just in case I decide to actually rewire this thing. You can see all these clips are just kind of broken and nasty. But what do you do when you have one problem with another car? You get another one. This actually isn't mine. This is a local guy that has one. And I was actually messaging him on Facebook and saying, "Hey, you got any extra parts?" But I seen him cruising around today, so I messaged him. I was like, "Hey, you want to bring that over? And can I steal your factory, basically coil pack off of it, and then plug wires, and swap it over to mine, and see if there's any issues with that?" The other thing is, you can see his crank angle sensor or cam angle sensor is right there in the middle, and I think that's where mine should be. We tried checking everything with the timing light last night, but I just don't think it has a good enough pickup going around like those wires right there to actually work, or maybe my timing light's being weird. But so kind of the plan is we're going to throw his coil and wire setup on it, check the timing, make sure all that stuff is good, and then we should probably do a compression test too, because it could be doing something stupid like that. Yeah, we're going to start there and then see if that kind of helps our issues, see if we get this thing running smooth again. Alright, so we got it stuck on there right now. Just plugged into the little deal right there.
Triangle connector.
Yeah, and then you put it in the center.
Yeah, I moved the cam position sensor to the center. Just so everything's...
Let's see if it runs.
Hopefully, you know... Butter. Butter. OEM, boys. OEM. What degree is that at?
So I locked the timing on the ECU, so it's locked at 5 degrees right now, and so what we're doing is coming over here using the timing light and trying to look down there to see. Go all the way advanced how it was. I can see it now.
Good. Yeah, it's good.
Are you giving it the big floor? That's what
Alright.
it did.
It's good. Okay. Good.
Alright guys, so that is going to be it for tonight. As you've seen, the car has 155 PSI compression across all the cylinders, and I know if we didn't do that before the end of this video, you guys would have all been upset and kind of wondered why we spent all this time chasing all these other issues without doing that. So I'm kind of glad that we did that too. I mean, that's almost where we should have started before we did anything else. But yeah, we get the timing and everything all locked in. Everything seems okay with that. Again, I think just one of the biggest issues is not actually having a wideband hooked up. I don't know if it's rich, I don't know if it's lean, I don't know if when it does that weird little popping thing, if that's because it's lean or rich, or I'm assuming it's lean or doing something like that. But then I could actually tie the wideband to the ECU so that it kind of knows what it's doing. I am kind of disappointed that the whole ECU master plug and play thing won't work out just because it is for an Evo 4 through 8 harness, not a 1G DSM type of thing. So one guy did say we could get a 2G DSM engine harness and actually put it in, and then we had to do something else with a crank sensor or another cam sensor, something like that. So if you guys know anything about that or know any kind of detailed write-ups on that, I would like to go to the ECU master. I think that would just, it just, as you guys know, all my other cars are on it, the Supra's on it, the Civic's on it, the Drift car's on it right now, and soon I would like to have this thing on it. It pretty much just does it what you tell it to do, and it doesn't do anything stupid or finicky. Yeah, I think that's going to be it for tonight. I appreciate Jesse for bringing out his car, letting me rob the coil packs and everything off of it, or the coil off it for a little bit. So yeah, I don't know, it still kind of seemed like it was still revving and doing some weird stuff with that too. Any suggestions are appreciated. I think that's going to be it for tonight, guys. I appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see you later.